So it's Monday, October the 5th. Today is my brother Robert's birthday. We're shelling corn, or going back to the field to shell corn. We have not shelled any corn, did not shell any corn last week. All the corn, we're still checking 19 to 20 last week. We're on the tail end of harvest. I like 75 acres of my own corn. And then I have 50 acres that I custom harvest that I have got to go shell. We're actually on the way to the very last field I planted. I started on it on the May the 13th, and I believe around the 13th, I can't remember exact dates, and finished it on the 20th. But even though it is the last I planted, it is checking the driest by hand, so we're moving to it. And then there's 25 acres there. I'm hoping to get it knocked out today. I'm hoping to move to the custom work in the morning or late this afternoon, just depending on how the day goes. And maybe get it knocked out in the next 2 days. And then move back home and shell the 50 acres in the bottom. The corn in the bottom looks really good. It's a little creek bottom ground. We put fungicide on it. It had a big rain on it right after it was planted, but it come up to a good stand, and it's looked really good all year long. I hope I'm not disappointed. Just looking at some of our corn this year, I did not think it would yield what it has yielded. This bridge right here is super rough, and I'm going to slow way on down crossing it, because if y'all hadn't seen Matt Griggs' video and the accident that he had, y'all need to go watch it. His channel is Griggs Farms LLC, I believe. But he had the header fell off the front of his combine, flipped upside down, and his combine run over it. It launched him, and the combine jumped the header and launched him out of the windshield. So y'all need to get on there and watch that video. I think the title of it's The End of Harvest and Disaster Hits. But y'all go check it out if you farm, and even if you don't farm, y'all need to watch it, because it was a pretty serious accident, and he's got lots of good things to say about it. Not about the accident, but from what his experiences and from what he took away from it. I ain't talked much today. Put the camera on the combine, and I forgot it was on here when I got off to get on the buggy, but this is a bad spot to come out. And it's in a curve and in a hill, and he's gonna go around that curve and tell me what's coming, so that
I don't see anything coming from there.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be our worst corn of the year. Kind of figured all along it might be, which I don't know, it's making 180 down through there. Just hill planted corn around the May 20th. Hill planted corn just don't work all the time in West Tennessee. Some years you can get by with it and some you can't, but this farm really needed to be rotated bad, and we needed to have a little more corn, but this was the only place we had dry enough to finish planting corn. So we got the combine successfully moved without anybody running over us. Now we got to get the buggy up here, and then I got to get the truck out, and then after that we ain't got to worry about coming out of that bad field no more. But that corn, just too many fence rows, too steep a hill. It's just, you can't hit a home run every time. I think a lot of it to do was the variety placement. This is a new variety, and I should have, it was supposed to take some stress, and or new variety to me, it was supposed to take some stress, but I don't think they missed that one. It's bad when you got brighter lights on the back of your combine than you do on the front. We added those lights onto the back of the combine because that combine had no lights at all on the back, and you couldn't tell if your chopper was spreading right, or you know, nothing about what was going on back there in the dark. So I think he should be, I guess his last pass. It is. Get him to wipe his windows down before we quit tonight. If you'll wipe him windows down before you quit, it ain't near as big a job cleaning them in the morning. But we got accomplished what we wanted to today. We got this 24-acre farm shelled. We're ready to move in the morning on to our custom harvest ground. Hopefully those 50 acres over there, hopefully it won't take about a day and a half. But I'm just gonna go on and count 2 days. About supper time. So we just got moved over here on some ground we're custom shelling. Unloading the first bin off of it. We got the end row shelled off. We're gonna work on opening the field up. Probably gonna be lots of sitting and waiting. It seems to be pretty good corn. Shelling around the edges, I always skip over 6 in the field. That way, if there's a limb hanging out or something, I ain't got to worry about working around it. That'll give me an open area out in the field to back around, and when I come around the edge, in case there's a limb or something working out. But shelling, this is some Stein corn right here. Seems to be pretty good corn. I love that camera in the grain tank. I hardly ever look back in the grain tank anymore. Just glance down there at that camera. Look like it got a little little droughty type ground right there. There's a neighboring farm. I sure would like to have that little turbo tail he's got over there. Planter man got a little wide, got a wide road, but that's okay. It's reaching over and pulling it in. We're shelling some pretty tall corn here, some pretty good corn here down through this flat. Fixing had to turn the lights on in a minute, the sun's fading. I'm running the combine because my brother was running it, and then they was having some trouble. There's some refuge corn out here, and the tops was breaking off and piling up on the header, and was really giving them a fit, and I believe he was ready for a break. They changed that hydraulic line while I was taking the truck off. I come back and the tractor and the combine was sitting in the middle of the field. The service truck was gone. I didn't know what was going on. So, but we wasn't down long. The longest part was just driving to town and getting a hose made for it. This corn I'm shelling on right here, shelling good, the stalk's good on it. When I get to that refuge corn, I'll show you the refuge corn. I like shelling tall corn. It's a whole lot easier. You ain't got to worry about running your header down on the ground and stuff like that. Y'all can't tell. There's darn corn dust this year. Working me over. My chest feels like it's on fire. And I've been trying to avoid it. But I ain't got to be in it for 30 seconds and it starts eating me up. I go to the doctor next rainy spell we'll be done shelling corn. In fact, just tough it out about 3 or 4 more days. Won't have to worry about it. I need a doctor that's open it during the nighttime. Don't say a nighttime doctor. The moisture's been all over the board on this corn. First load checked 16.5. Second load checked 15.3. Now this corn showing 17. Probably a little, if it's checking 17, I'm sure it's wetter. He wants to shell it, but we need to get it out. A good wind, this corn will be on the ground. Oh, it's beautiful West Tennessee sunset right behind the grain cart being loaded. So here's some of that refuge corn that was giving my brother a fit. You see how much shorter it is than this other variety of corn? Now what refuge corn is there's an insect trait built into all these corn hybrids. country, a cotton county. So we got to plant 20% of our corn to refuge. And the way I understand it, what it's supposed to do is them bugs will come in here and eat on that corn instead of the traded corn, the corn that has the insect gene in it. And by them eating on that corn and not eating on the other, there's a less of a chance of the insects becoming resistant to the trait in the corn. But some of the traits I'm talking about is like corn borer. Corn would be resistant to it. You know, that was a big one back in the day. And one of the newer traits I think is earworm. You know, I don't forget how many bushels they said an earworm not eating the tips of those kernels is worse. But that's the reason we plant refuge corn. And I'm sure that was clear as mud, but sitting here running this thing, you don't always think clearly and explain everything clearly. But as the night goes on, this corn is feeding better. I think during the heat of the day, which it ain't really much heat. So what's up, everyone? I feel 500 times better hell since the last time I talked to y'all. We finna start back shelling some corn this afternoon. Last night I was running and it got to where I couldn't breathe. I had planned on running late. And I filled the buggy and the cart up and was waiting on Robert. Got to where I couldn't breathe. And I just got off combine. I was gonna go get the truck. I had to damn crawl on my hands and knees to the truck. My chest felt like it was on fire. And I got the truck, drove it down there to where Bob was gonna bring in the big truck. And told him, I said, take me to the house. And my little boy has asthma. So I took one of his breathing treatments, and that made me feel better. And then my wife took me to the doctor. And they said, listen to me breathe. They said, you wheezing something off. So they gave me a steroid shot, gave me some steroids to take, gave me an antibiotic, and gave me an inhaler. And that way, when I'm out here in the field and that corn dust gets to attacking me, that I can take a puff of that inhaler and it helps me. I'm supposed to take a puff every 4 hours as needed. So I've got that. I'm hoping it's gonna help me. I went on and took a puff before I even started. But I feel 300 times better than I did last night. It's amazing. And I was in bad shape because I don't normally go.
You got 82 better we saw yesterday.
Yeah, where at?
When we was headed over here yesterday.
I'm trying to remember. What was it doing?
It was going down the road. We got in behind it there. Got on the bypass there.
No, I don't remember it, but tell me about it.
We just had it to Mike Griggs and them. Kelly's got it on their Instagram. Oh, the 8230 combine, red combine.
Oh, okay. So they totaled the old combine.
I guess they're just releasing it letting them use it until they get those fixed again.
Okay, I got you. That makes sense now.
Yeah, no.
But anyways, I feel better. We're back in the cornfield. And that's that. So maybe I can get y'all some better footage today, being that I'm not choking to death on corn dust. Hard to tell much about what's going on, because stock quality on this ain't the best. The leaves are just shattering. We're clipping along here about 4.3 mile an hour. I could push it up a little more if I wanted to, and I think I will. We ain't loading the combine hardly none. A lot of times I like to look at how we're loading the combine up. It's about, this combine normally runs about 2250 with the separator engaged, and you can push it down to about 2200 before you feel the combine start fading back a little. We're shelling corn running 190 bushel down through our corn don't really, it likes low ground, but it don't really like stress type ground. It don't like to run up on the hill. At least not a thin hill. Like I said earlier, that's some tall corn. It's about eye level with me sitting up here in the cab. Run about 16.5% moisture is what it's averaging. Get y'all a little unloading on the go action. Made like a little beat feature instead of a buzzer. I guess it's better than my old 6620. It never had a full buzzer. You was always having to look behind you. Constantly look behind you in the window to see if it's full or not. And the 6620 was a little easier when the glass filled up behind you, you knew it was time to be looking for the cars to fill up. Hoping we're going to get quite a bit done today. We had a little bit of trouble yesterday. We had a hydraulic line blow on the four-wheel drive. That was fun. Mama had to bring Robert a new shirt because he got hydraulic oil all over. That slowed us down. We're quite a bit away from the elevator, so that slowed us down. But now my neighbor got done shelling corn. He's letting us use his truck. So maybe that's going to take care of that problem. His truck ain't no telling how much it'll hold, but you can put about 1,200 bushel on it pretty easy without piling it up. It's got tall sides. I think we like about 30 acres over here. Maybe we probably shelled 20 yesterday. We're getting a late start today. Try and get it. I like 50 acres of my own at home. I'd like to get this shelled. They call them for rain this weekend. Call them remnants of a hurricane or a tropical storm or something. So I'd like to be done shelling corn before that rolls through. So right there's the truck we got borrowed. Well, you can't see cab up right now, but I believe that's 40 foot, 42, something like that, and got tall sides on it. You can put way more corn on it than needs to be on it. We got they're gonna have a buggy and a piece on it. What's gonna end up on it. But one good thing about this truck, you ain't gotta worry about tarping it. All you gotta do is let it pile up to where you can see it, and corn good and clean. Just a couple broken cobs in it. It might not be the newest or the best, but I love this old combine. I remember when I was a kid when these 9000 series combines was new, and I thought they was just space age technology on the time. I grew up with my granddaddy on a 4400 John Deere combine. We was pushing a 4-row narrow corn head, probably 2.5 mile an hour. I rode behind them in the back seat, and you know, just ever since then, that's all I ever wanted to do was be a farmer. There's a truck we got born, and then I went there. I cut 2 crops with the 4400. Turn my flashers on. Then we went up to the 6620, and I thought I was driving a Cadillac, son. We put that 4-row header on it, and we run it, I don't know, maybe 2 seasons. And then we went up to the then we went up to this 6-row header. It done a good job running the 6-row. You couldn't run about 2.5 mile an hour is all you could run, but we went up in Illinois and bought this combine and hung this 6-row header on it. I got turned it on, pulled in that corn, gals don't know how to stand, and we were selling 4.5. I thought we've hit the big time now, boys. We walking in high cotton. But no, I really love this little old combine. I've thought about, we don't really need it right now, but we may in the future need a little bigger combine. We're getting a free blowing off. But the more I hear them talk about these newer combines and the troubles with the electronics that they have, and this one has gave some electrical trouble before, but we got a tech manual and always been able to diagnose it. But a lot of troubles I hear they have with these new combines, I'm like, nah, no thank you. But if we ever do decide to get a bigger combine, I'm thinking a 9770 John Deere is kind of what I'd like to have. There was a lot of them that was ran around here, and I never really heard anybody say anything bad about them. I'm sure there's some bad things about them, but I just never heard that much bad about them around here. They was a very popular combine, but you just around here, but you don't see any anymore. I guess they're too new for the little farmers like me, and not near enough, you know, for some of the big farmers. Most everybody around here is running like a S600 series. There's a few around here with S7s. I tell you, a combine that there's a lot of around here is a Case IH 8230. There's a lots of them running. And some of the newer, I hadn't seen many Hadn't seen many 8240s. There's several 50 series. I've seen several 50 series. You know, the guys that keep it near combines. I've seen a few of them around. Gotta stop and shift down. But I really love this little old combine. If we had a second truck, I'd probably hang an 8-row on it. It's really a little small for an 8-row, but the way I look at it is we're running 4.5 with this header. We could get an 8-row and slow our ground speed down some. That'd allow us to cheer our stalks up and stuff a little better. There's just ways of looking at it. Probably the main reason we haven't went to a 8-row is because we've talked multiple times about trading with the shorter planting. It's a rough crossing right there. With the shorter planting windows we've been having, we've been thinking about going to a 12-row just for the simple fact that we can maximize our opportunity. That's probably the main reason we hadn't went to 8-row head yet. But I just hate to trade planters because I know.
They planted this whole bottom and corn.
No, I tried to get him to. He wouldn't do it. But yeah, I like this farm right here. It's got a great big area here. You can park the trucks and stuff and that. Well, I'm back to truck driving. Got my old sidekick with me. Hey. Maybe I can make it. Hell, this truck showing like an 1/8 of a tank. And we just let it sit there and idle while we're filling it up. And that's what it shows. Surely goodness this thing don't burn that much fuel sitting there idling. Back here truck driving in Old Blue. I tell you what, Old Blue might be old, but I'd rather drive it as Old Blue. All she's got is a rod hooked to the injection pump to the throttle and 9 speeds. I can drive it the way I want it. I ain't got a damn computer trying to help me drive it. And the AC works in Old Blue too. It done got down pretty cool. I done turned the AC compressor off on Old Blue. You got to it's kind of hot wired. You got to unhook it when it gets cool. It's warmed back up to 82 today. It's gonna cool back down again next week. Yeah, man, Old Blue getting along a lot better. Damn, that other truck here. Hell, you get ready to shift. Computer says it ain't time, whatever. I like simple. The more simpler, the better in the joist operation. But I will give that other truck one thing. That some buck is stout. I had 1,285 bushel on that other load. And with the exception of one steep hill, that son gone in, pulled like a scalded dog. But take this other load off. I'm hoping we'll get this custom work finished up today. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. We like about 14 acres. So if everything will run right, fingers crossed, we'll do that, be ready to move to the house and shell that last 50 acres at the house. It might not look like it on the computer and on the camera, but that is a steep son buck right here. 2014 went to electronic injection and stuff. This has got rockers off the camshaft. This up there in the valve train with the with your rockers for your valves, and there's a rocker for the injector that hits the injectors. I think it's common rail, but the injectors are activated by rockers in there with the valve train. And don't ask me how I know that. I'll tell you how I know that. I had a International Eagle 85 model with that engine in it, and we had to rebuild the engine in there. It dropped a valve on the piston. We put new mains and rods in it, replaced those 2 pistons, and had the heads reworked, and we had to time them, or not really time the valves, but set the clearances on the valves and on them injectors. I wish I started making YouTube videos a long time ago, because we've had lots of interesting situations happen to us over the years. But I may need to keep making YouTube videos, because ain't much interesting happened lately, and I like it. I like to keep it simple. Well, my battery's about to die, guys. That's probably going to be the end of the video. I'll try to get it out here pretty soon.